Hello there, this is Luke.
And I'm Elijah. And we are the Eagles of Steel. So, today we are going to be doing the linebackers, finally.
Thank you!
This is going to be hard because there's a lot of good linebackers out there.
And what's going to be interesting about this list is what we did is we combined the pass rushing linebackers and like the coverage linebackers. But first, if you haven't seen the other videos, we've done about 4 videos now in this series of ranking the players.
Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and
defensive line. So if you didn't see them, stop this video right now. I don't want you to watch this video yet. Go check those out and then come back, and then you can see us talk about this.
Anyways, let's get started with one of my honorable mentions. My first honorable mention being Frankie Louvu.
Ooh, okay.
Frankie Louvu, he had 10 tackles for loss. He made 125 tackles, 66 of them being solo, 5.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. So not bad, but there's some guys up here that have way better tackle stats and turnovers as well. But he's a good honorable mention to have in there.
That's not bad. For me, my number 12, or my honorable mention, is Bobby Wagner of Washington. So he didn't have any forced fumbles or interceptions. That's kind of like 2 things I was looking for. But he did have the most solo tackles of anybody I found at 96 solo tackles.
Huh?
I'm like, what? Like, the only reason he didn't go into top 10 is because he didn't have any fumbles, interceptions, any of that. It was just a ton of tackles, solo tackles, and he had like 3.5 sacks. Like, pretty, like, so it's like...
Not bad for a 33, 34 year old.
I know, he's old too, so it's like even better. Number 11, or the last honorable mention, is Demario Davis of the Saints. So, with him, he had 6.5 sacks, he had 74 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, and he didn't have any interceptions. I know Demario Davis is the best of the Saints linebacker core. He's a great player to use in Madden too. But the only reason he didn't make it is because he also didn't really have he didn't have the interceptions. Some of the stuff seemed a little lower than I was expecting, but other than that, it's not a bad player.
My number 11, I had Bobby Wagner.
Oh, look at that.
There's a few things you missed. He had 11 tackle for losses, 183 tackles total.
I think that was the most in the league right there.
Yes, most of the league in solos and total tackles.
There you go.
He only had 3.5 sacks, but he did have a fumble recovery, though.
Yeah, so if you got the recovery at least.
He got the fumble recovery.
All right.
He's not in the top 10 because my number 10 being Patrick Queen for Pittsburgh now.
That's okay, well, let me see these stats first, and then I'll judge it.
He had 9 tackles for losses, 133 tackles total, 84 solo. He had 3.5 sacks. He had a forced fumble and a pick.
That's not bad.
And a fumble recovery. He's not higher because some of the stats on the other guys are way better, like turnover ratio and tackles.
I'll be honest, I actually didn't even have Patrick Queen at all. So I think because I'm pretty sure I was like thinking about it, but I was like, no, I had these other players I had to mention.
I'm okay with keeping him at a number 10.
Okay. My number 10 is Jelani Tave. From the New England Patriots.
Wow.
And yes, I chose him over Matt Judon because Matt Judon only played like 5 games. But Jelani Tave was, I guess, their second string. But he had a sack, he had 65 solo tackles, and he had 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions.
Wow.
So for me, I was like, that was pretty reasonable to have him there. Like so far, it's the most out of anybody so far I've listed. So it's like, I figured it was worth mentioning just because of that, but it might be a bit of a stretch having a guy like that there, but why not have him, you know?
Anyways, your number 9?
My number 9 is Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
He has 4.5 sacks, 86 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble. He didn't have any picks, though. The only reason why I had him over the Tave guy is because he had more solos and he had more sacks. But that was it.
Okay. Number 9, I have CJ Mosley at number 9.
His stats didn't really look that good. Like, what do you have?
He only had 5 tackle for losses, though. That kind of didn't really judge well.
Because I didn't see anything good.
151 total tackles, 80 solo. He only had half a sack, but he had 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a pick as well.
Okay, it's not bad, but it's not.
It's not.
I mean,
great.
it's not top like even honorable mention worthy, really.
Well, my number 8 deserves to be probably a little higher. T.J. Edwards.
He is good.
He only had 8 tackles for losses, but he had 155 tackles total. 91 of them were solo.
Mm-hmm.
1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and 3 picks.
The interceptions.
So he deserved to be in the top 10.
Oh yeah, for sure,
easily.
My number 8, I believe, is going to wreck people. Micah Parsons.
I can explain.
Here's one you're off.
I already hear the Cowboys fans going.
You what?
Yeah. All right. So for me, his things though, the numbers didn't really surprise. They looked low. I was really shocked. I almost didn't include him at all, but I was like, if I didn't, then I feel like I was going to get even worse. So, so he had 14 sacks, very good. However, everything else sucked. I didn't have anything for him. He had only 36 solos, which is the least amount of everybody on my list. He had 1 forced fumble and no interceptions,
which is very shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't know if you have his stats anywhere, but
I have a little bit more for Parsons.
Okay, but it's what in the world?
What about your number 7?
Oh, sorry. My number 7 is T.J. Edwards. Everything you said, I kind of included. The sacks, the solo tackles, the fumbles, interceptions, all that. He was great. I almost ranked him higher, but then I realized that there's people that I almost missed out on. So I had to drop him down a bit just because I wanted to include them.
Okay.
But
my number 7, I have Quincy Williams from the Jets.
Okay, that one's pretty good. I didn't include him, though.
Because he had 15 tackle for losses for a linebacker, legit linebacker. 139 tackles total. He was 1 solo tackle behind Bobby Wagner at 95.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How did I miss that?
He only had 2 sacks, but he also had 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a pick as well. So,
bro, how did I miss that?
Quincy Williams obviously deserved to be in this top 10 list.
Yeah, it did. He deserved to at least be an honorable mention. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Jets fans.
I have Demario Davis at number 6, actually.
Oh, wow.
Demario Davis at number 6.
So what do you know that I don't?
He had a total of 121 tackles, 74 solos, 6.5 sacks.
Yep.
1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. He also had 12 tackle for losses as well.
The tackles for loss. Okay, I can see why. All right, that's interesting. You shocked me. I'm like, what? Okay. Is it my number 6? I believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay, my number 6 is Bobby Okereke from the New York Giants. He had 2.5 sacks, but he had 92 solo tackles. He had 4 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, for the Giants, I think he was probably the Giants' either first or second best player on defense. He went nuts last season. Even though the team itself sucked, he still did good. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt right there. My number 5, to start off my top 5, is Josh Allen of Jacksonville.
The linebacker Josh Allen.
Yes, Josh Hines Allen, I believe, is what he changed his name to, so people didn't get confused. He has 17.5 sacks, 43 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception.
I didn't even look at... I didn't get Josh Allen on my list, actually.
What? Are you serious? How did you...
Just continue.
Okay, but anyway, I'm like, this guy is the best ranked, at least if you want to look at Madden stats, he's actually the best right outside linebacker in the game.
I think it was right outside.
Okay, but even then, it was like, wow, he's good. So how about you? What starts off your top 5?
I have Levante David at number 5.
Ooh,
let me get into his stats.
Okay.
134 tackles total, 86 solo, 4.5 sacks. He had a forced fumble, and he also had 17 tackle for losses.
That's why.
17.
Okay, I missed that part.
This may shock you. Number 4, I have Fred Warner. I mean, he's in the top 5, so you got
to be honest. He's right where he needs to be, at least.
That's fair.
So,
He only had 6 tackle for losses, though. That's why he's not. I couldn't rank him higher, but he didn't have many tackle for losses. But he did have 132 tackles, 82 solo, 2.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 4 picks.
That's
why he's in the top 5.
Okay. So my number 4 goes to Danielle Hunter of Houston. He had 16.5 sacks. He had 54 solo tackles and 4 forced fumbles. He didn't have any picks. But he did, but all not like I don't really know his tackle count, but I know that he was a great player for the Vikings last year, and I know he's going to be a great player for the Houston Texans this year.
Oh, I'm sure, absolutely.
Alongside of guys like Will Anderson on that D line, and like it's going to be fun to watch the Texans. My number 3, Khalil Mack of the Chargers.
Ooh, this is out of the blue.
Yeah, he had 17 sacks. He had 5 forced fumbles, which is the most on the entire list that we've included, and he had 57 solos on top of that, which is probably like some of the best stats. The only thing he didn't have was interceptions, but he had some of the best as a pass rushing type of linebacker, and I was like, whew, baby.
You're not gonna like me when I say my number 3. It's Parsons. You're not gonna like me when I say that. Yeah.
Okay. What do you have that I didn't? Because his stats were awful.
I include everything that you had. Like 14 sacks, 36 solos, and 64 total tackles.
Okay, but what did I miss here?
Because 18 tackle for losses.
Okay, so there's that. I understand that, but is there anything else?
Not really. Other than his 14 sacks that he had and his 18 tackle for losses.
Well, if that's the case, then I feel like where I put him is more reasonable. Micah Parsons at 8, you know?
Well, Danielle Hunter's my number 2.
Oh, okay.
Because he has a little bit better stats than Parsons. I'll give you that.
Okay, where's he stand?
83 total tackles, 54 solo tackles.
Oh, only 83.
16 and a half sacks.
I know that part.
4 forced fumbles and 23 tackle for losses. That's why he's number 2.
Oh my God!
He's number 2.
23. Oh my gosh! All right, that's why. That is definitely the most out of all these players.
Yes,
that's crazy. All right, my number 2 has to go to Fred Warner of the San Francisco 49ers. He had 2.5 sacks, 82 solo. The thing that got me the most is that he was pretty even. He hit with 4 forced fumbles and 4 interceptions. That was the thing that got me there. I know you mentioned some of his other stats, and I thought they're pretty good too. So for me, Fred Warner is definitely probably the best coverage linebacker. But
he's not the pass rusher, but he's the coverage guy.
Yeah. Now, if you want to talk about the best pass rushing linebacker, it is my boy TJ Watt. Come on. 19 sacks, 48 solos, 4 forced fumbles, 1 interception, baby. Come on.
I also have met one as well.
Let's go. I love it.
I admit he's really good. Let me add on to what you said for his stats. 68 total tackles, 48 solos, 19 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries. Forgot to add that.
Oh, dang.
And a pick. He has 19 tackle for losses. So he
had everything. He had a bit of everything.
Yes.
He was just that good.
I'm sure he's going to be exactly as good next year, too. So
now, to get into the ultimate question that we've been asking after end of these videos, we're going to start with the NFC today. Who has the best linebacker core of
the AFC?
The NFC is actually.
You want to start with NFC?
I want to start with NFC. Who's the best linebacker core of the NFC?
Well, we can count out Philly right away.
Yeah, Philly doesn't have it. That's for sure. I think my top guys, top linebacker cores would be either the 49ers, the Giants, the Chicago Bears, or the Saints.
With Mario Davis.
Yeah, those are my top guys. I am going to go for the NFC. I think the best linebacker core in the NFC is not the 49ers. I think it's actually the Chicago Bears.
So TJ
Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, which we didn't even include, but he has pretty good stats too. Those guys right there, they're really good players.
You gotta remember what the 49ers had. They also
I know they had Dre Greenlaw. I remember. But I think the Bears just have more depth in that field. I feel like the only two great ones that the 49ers have are those two, and then everybody else is pretty mediocre.
I think the Bears have a little bit
I think more depth in there. That's why I'm going with them. How about you?
I didn't look into like best core, but I'm sticking with the 49ers.
Okay. Now,
AFC, and there's a lot of AFC combinations, and I know you're gonna be a little biased if you want.
Yep, I'm all right. You already know who I'm going with. I'm going with the Steelers, T.J. Watt, and Alex Highsmith, and Patrick Queen, and Cole Holcomb.
What combinations in the AFC other than Pittsburgh? Have good combinations.
Well, first off, you got. I think the Houston Texans have a pretty good linebacker core.
KC is always good.
Yeah. The Chargers do with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Which, to be honest, Joey Bosa, he's been injured a lot, so that's the only reason I include him. You also have the New England Patriots?
Nah.
Like, kind of? Like, Jacksonville with Josh Allen and the other guy, like, Bruno or whatever his name is.
But I'm going to stick it back to your guys.
Yeah, you can't deny the Steelers have like the best linebacker core in the league.
It's ridiculous.
Like T.J. Watt on one side, Alex Smith on the other. Alex Highsmith on the
what?
wrong guy.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Alex Highsmith on the one thing. Middle linebackers, Patrick Queen and Cole Holcomb on the same team. No one's stopping that linebacker core. I don't think anybody in the NFC, even the 49ers, don't have that good.
All I hear is a lot of very hyped up.
Yes, this is where I love my team the most because this is where TJ Watt is. So I love talking about my defense more than my offense.
That's fair. Your defense is way better.
And then everything. So, but there you guys have it. This was a fun video to talk about with linebackers. Now, next week, we will be looking at cornerbacks.
Oh, that's going to be
And that's going to be hard because there is a lot of them.
There's so many good ones.
Yep, and then after that, it's going to be safeties. And then the week after that, we're finally going to have our week 1 predictions. Because the season is right around the corner. No, we're not watching preseason. Sorry. We don't really care, guys. Preseason's fake.
Watch it there.
Yeah.
All these backups might say otherwise.
Yeah. But anyway, please, if you like this video, please comment down below and also subscribe. The button should be right around there. And this is Elijah.
This is Luke.
And we are the Eagles of Steel. Bye!